Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity. And we are at Fabulous Friday, and I hope everyone's going to have a wonderful weekend. Right, I'm up again today with Panalisa, and there's a couple of things that I've made, and then there's one thing that we are going to make now. And the thing that I made, I've used Panalisa's Joyful Pad, and I used the red and sort of creamy coloured Harlequin sheet, and I also used this one, which I used as a recipe card yesterday, and today I'm going to use it as a cookie sheet. Well, I have used it as a cookie sheet, and we're also going to use it as a card topper. I have used the little gingerbread cookies, which are absolutely gorgeous. And I've also used, and you can't really see it there, these are the wax seal dies. And if you're anything like me, and I've tried a couple of times now to make wax seals, yes I have, and I don't know whether I've got my wax too hot, too cold, but it comes out looking like a big hodgepodge of oatmeal, like a blob of oatmeal that somebody poured red nail polish all over. Well, that was my last effort anyway. So these are absolutely awesome, because if you don't want to get all the wax stuff and you want to do these, they're just really cool. So yeah, that's me and my wax exploits. So first up, and it is the little gingerbread cookie tray. Aren't they gorgeous? You get 5 to make. Look at that one. Oh, let's see if we can get close up. There you go. I put little blobs of glossy accents on top of my candy. But, that one is quite a detailed one, but they're just so sweet. I use little pearls. I use my little clay pieces. They call them slime pieces on AliExpress because they just chuck loads and loads of it into slime. But you can get smaller packages, which are great for embellishments. And look at the little stocking. You get a little frilly bit. And I use my Touch 5. And here's something. I use white pearls for these, and I coloured them in with red marker. And I'm always saying to myself, it's about time to get some red pearls, but it's always the same every year. I get the white ones out and just colour them in with my markers. And I did use my Touch 5 for those, and the colours that I used are here. And I don't know whether they're going to show. So we've got 102, we've got 13, we've got 35, 46 and 63. Right, I hope that showed up. So I just used 5 markers to colour them in. And of course to do the eyes on the reindeer and the little buttons there on the gingerbread man, those are 1.5mm flat backs. And for the black eyes there, you've got 4mm flat backs, and that's what they look like. And I keep them in those tiny little tins. If I can find them, I will try and link them below. Right, next up, as I said, mine looks like oatmeal, and I made 2. So I did 1 in foil and I did 1 in craft, and I think this one is my favourite one. And I don't know, I can just see me making hundreds of those, because they also, even though it's a wax seal, you can put little tails on them, make them look like rosettes. But there's the one with the little snowflake glued down in the middle. But I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. But, I'm somebody who really does love craft cardstock, so obviously that one's my favourite. But they're just so sweet. I mean, gorgeous. You can sit down with all your little scraps of paper and make tons of them, and make all your envelopes for your Christmas cards. Just stick these down on the flap and make them look really posh. Or, hang on, I've got a bit of ribbon here. Well, I've got a spool of ribbon. This is my red ticking ribbon. But can you see what I mean? You could just put that on a card with a sentiment. Just makes it look extra special. Just love it. Yeah. So no more oatmeal for me. I'm going to be cutting these from now on. So you might see these on quite a few things. But I did use the snowflake and I used the heart. But it also comes with a little bumblebee, a butterfly and a little deer for Christmas. So, there are 5 little elements. No, sorry, 6 little elements. Yeah, get that out there. Give it a good shake. Yeah, that's right. And you get the little Santa hat and you get the little Christmas bauble. Well, I'm linking them anyway so you can see all of those little bits. But imagine your little summer ones with your tiny little butterfly in pastel shades. You could just run a whole bunch of them, couldn't you, along a card, a little slimline or something. But yeah, love them. Absolutely love them. Right, now, next up, we're going to make something. So I'm using a Merry Christmas, and I'm going to be using this poinsettia paper. And because this piece of paper, I'm going to see if I can find it in here again, because I do want to use it, is quite busy. There it is. It's quite busy, beautiful and vibrant. I'm going to use my die, which is this one. I've cut it apart already. The ornament, and you get a layering, so you can turn that into a shaker if you want to, and then you get the florals in there and little snowflakes. But what I want to do is cut it in white, and I'm going to use a little bit of silver, because as you can see, you know, the vibrancy and the busyness of that sheet, I personally feel that whatever I'm going to put on top, I'm going to need to calm it down. So the die that I used for the gingerbread tray is also the one that I'm going to use as my card topper today, using that sheet of paper. And then all of this cut in white and silver. So I'll run off and do that, and I will be right back. Right, so you can see my little die cuts here, and there's always little fluffy bits. Whenever I'm cutting black cardstock, you get tiny little fibres stuck in your cutting plates, and you end up with it on white cardstock sometimes. So I've got little silver and white bits, and one of the things I noticed, you get two sizes of flower and two sizes of snowflake, and these can actually, look at that, it will go on top of your little flower. So that's how I'm going to use them. Yeah, why not? You can use them separately, make them whatever colour you want to. But I just noticed that, you know, when I was chucking everything down on the table, that they actually fit. So I'm going to use them like that. So I've got my white and my silver, and this is the card base. And of course, this is what I was trying to explain. It's a very bold print. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I've gone red, white, and then I've gone my bold print. Now you get two layers of your ornament, as I said, because you can cut it, and as you can see there, you can get a shaker by cutting a frame. I'm just going to use two together. Whoops, I'm sliding it along the table because I've got no fingernails, and I'm going to put foam underneath there and elevate it from the back. So I am going to do that, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've stuck my foam tape on, and I've actually peeled the backs off on those, and then I need to actually hold it towards me so I can centre it up, because I'm pretty sure that there is a definite border. So there you go. I've popped it up, and it's quite three-dimensional, and I am actually going to stick it down on there. So before I go any further, find my tape. I'm going to make sure that I've got tape on there before I decorate it, because it just makes it easier than having, you know, a fully decorated object and then trying to stick tape down onto that. So I'm only going to need a couple of pieces, so I'll go with this. So I've got my tape down on the back ready. So I've got my chunky little ornament now, and as you can see, the white, you know, it just, I don't know, it's just the background. It's a gorgeous background, and I don't really want to fuss it up further so that you can't see it, if you know what I mean. And then we've got all our little bits of greenery, even though they're white, which can be tucked in to here. So it's kind of like deciding how you want to pop your little bits of white greenery in there. And I'm actually going to fan it out. So kind of as you see it there, that's how I'm going to stick it down, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've put my little bits of white greenery down. It sounds quite odd saying that. And the next thing I want to stick on is the top of my ornament, which I cut in silver. So I'm just concentrating a blob of glue just in the centre there, because it's fitting on top of my top layer. So if I pick that up, hopefully you can see it. And I think I've got it straight. I'll just shift it over just a little bit and give it a press. So there we've got the top of the bauble on. So the larger white one behind is kind of like, you know, it's just acting as a sort of like white shadow, a receptacle for everything else kind of thing. And then next up, I'm going to do my little snowflake. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue into the middle there. I'm going to pick my snowflake up. I'm sliding it. And I'm so glad that, you know, one kind of landed on top in the way that it did. Otherwise, I would have just used separate snowflakes. But I just think that as a flower, see if we can hold it up. I just think that's really pretty. And it just fits into it so nicely. Now, when that's dry, I'm holding it down with my finger. You will be able to manipulate it slightly, which is going to look nice as well. But that is going to go down with my bauble. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I'm going to have that sort of like coming off there. So I'm going to drop a little bit of glue down. You can, of course, stamp your Merry Christmas on your bauble, or use a sticker if you want to. Right, now I'm going to glue the next snowflake on, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've glued that one on, and I'm going to pop it onto here now. And I think what I'm going to do is just sort of like make a little cluster of flowers off to one side kind of thing. And I'm going to do that one a little bit skew-if. So I'm just having a few blossoms. And then we've got the medium kind of size and a smaller size. And we've got little centres there. So I'm just going to glue the little centres in the centre of those flowers, and I'll be back. Right, so I glued those on, and I also glued you get two little bows. I did one in silver and then the smallest one in white. So I'm just going to fasten those on, and I'm going to go up here with that smaller one, I think. Just have that kind of overhanging slightly. And then I'm going to put the larger one down here. Just bunching them up quite close together. I'm going to overlap that. Whoops. Tuck it in and make sure you've got it fastened down. Might take a few seconds for that to dry actually. And then for the bow, I can obviously go off on the hanger for that. I'm just sliding it off the table. I mean, you can go there if you want to, or you can just stick it onto a sprig. You could even put it in the corner. Basically have it where you wanted. But I'm going to kind of try and balance it in there. So I'm going to put some glue right at the top of my little hanger. And because we've got so much humidity here today, it's taken a while for my glue to set. So I'm going to let my glue set, and then I'll come back and give you a close-up. Right, and there we have it. Because you've got that beautiful bold paper behind, you really don't need to put any colour on the top. And if you've got a little sentiment banner or something just to go along your ornament, or even add a couple of extra little silver snowflakes, I think with that beautiful background paper, really that's all it needs. So I thank you so much for joining me today. So we had the ornament, we've got the gingerbread, there they are. So we've got the the tray for the gingerbread. And as I said yesterday, we did this same die as a recipe card. And then we've got a gorgeous, smoothly made wax seals. Right. You have an absolutely awesome weekend. I thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be up again on Monday with more Panalisa because we've got all those Halloween items. I think we've got drippy pumpkin candles and bulging eyeballs and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing that on Monday. Once again, have an awesome weekend. And as usual, all links below. Bye.